Hello everyone. In this video we will be learning how to calculate force between two parallel current carrying conductors. Now in order to start with this, I will first write down the expression that we already know, and that is about the Lorentz force. We know that if there is a particle which has charge q, which is moving with the velocity v, in the presence of a magnetic field B, then the force that it experiences is given by F is equal to Q into V cross B. Now, if instead of one single charge, suppose we have a conductor which has length L, let us say the area of cross section is A, and again the magnetic field is suppose B itself. We want to find out how much is the force experienced by this current carrying conductor which carries a current I in the presence of the magnetic field B. So it is a very simple method. What we will do is we'll first try and find out what is the value of Q for this current carrying conductor, and for this let us assume that N is the number density of the electrons that are producing the current I in the conductor. So if N is the number density of electrons, this can be written as total number N divided by area of cross section A into L. So total number divided by volume of the conductor will give the number density of the electrons producing the current I. Now when a current I flows through the conductor, then electrons are moving inside the conductor, and we also know that all the electrons move with a velocity Vd. So substituting all these values over here, we can write down force will be equal to the charge Q can be written as small n multiplied by A into L. This is the total number N of the charges that are moving. Now because we want to find out how much is Q, so this has to be multiplied by E, that is the charge on each electron. So now this whole is giving us the value of Q. Bracket, they are moving with a velocity Vd, so I will write Vd cross magnetic field is B. Now we have already done this earlier, that I is equal to NEAVD in the third chapter. So substituting the value of I will write down F is equal to, because I have taken I as small I, so I will write down I. Now N, E, A and VD have been taken as I, so I am left with L. But inside the bracket there was a vector, so I have to substitute another vector here which is in the same direction. Now L and VD, the length and VD are in the same direction, so I will write down L cross B. So force on a current carrying conductor present in the magnetic field is equal to I into L cross B. Now this expression is very helpful for us to find out force between two parallel current carrying conductors. So I'm just erasing this. You just remember the formula F is equal to I into L cross B, and just now we will be using this. So let us say that these are the two current carrying conductors, and further name them as 1 and 2. Say I1 current is flowing through this and I2 current is flowing through this. D is the distance between the two. Now we want to find out force on conductor 1 due to 2. This is what we want to find out. Now what we will do is we will rewrite the expression for force on a current carrying conductor which was I into L cross B. Now force on 1 due to 2 means the current will be carried by the first conductor, length will be the length of the first conductor, and magnetic field, you want to find out how much is the magnetic field. The magnetic field will be produced by the second conductor. And how much is the magnetic field by this? Because it is a straight conductor, we have already learned using the Ampere's circuitry law how to find out the magnetic field due to a straight current carrying conductor at a distance d. And we know the expression was mu naught I, the current is I2, so I will write down I2 divided by 2 pi d. And the direction of magnetic field, just by using the right hand thumb rule, is outwards, so I will write down k cap. I will also have to write down the direction for length because it is in the positive j direction, so I will write down j cap cross like this. So force on 1 due to 2 becomes, taking all the constants outside, mu naught I1 I2 divided by 2 pi d. I will also take L outside, and inside the bracket I have j cross k. Now j cross k is nothing but I. So this becomes mu naught I1 I2 divided by 2 pi d, and F12 L I will take over here. So this becomes like this. So force per unit length on the conductor 1 due to magnetic field produced by the conductor 2, because it carries a current I2, will be equal to mu naught I1 I2 divided by 2 pi d. Now in the similar process we can find out how much is the force on 2 due to 1. So we will only make small changes here. What I will do is, force on 2 due to 1 means F21 is equal to I2 L cross magnetic field produced by 1. Right? Here the magnetic field was produced by the second one. Now we will take the magnetic field produced by the first one. So I will make the changes here only. So this 1 will become 2. This 2 will become 1. But the direction for L is the same if I take L as this. So the direction of L is the same as J. As far as the magnetic field is concerned, if I hold this conductor in my right hand, the magnetic field is going into the plane of the board for this conductor, because I will hold it like this. So my fingers are going inside. So this direction becomes negative of K. So these are the changes that I am showing with red. Right? So I2 is this much, I1 is again here, mu naught is there, 2 pi d is there. There is a negative sign, so I will write the negative sign here. And for this expression, I will write a negative sign here. Now I have the magnitude the same as the previous one, but now the direction is minus I, which means this, in the negative x direction. So force on 1 due to 2 was in this direction, force on 2 due to 1 is in this direction. So both the conductors are attracting each other. So if the current flows in the same direction between two current carrying conductors in the same direction, then they will attract each other, right? And that is why if there are two wires which are going parallel to each other, and suppose a high amount of current is flowing through them, then they will start attracting. And that is why you might have seen that in the cables which are there on the road side, you might have seen we have to put something between the two current carrying wires so that they may not collapse or they may not collide with each other. So this is how we find out the force between two parallel current carrying conductors, and this is also helpful in defining 1 ampere. Right? This derivation is also helpful in defining 1 ampere. So how do we define 1 ampere? So we say that before that I will write down, let us say 1 ampere current is flowing through this, 1 ampere current is flowing through this, and the distance between them is 1 meter. So I will say that 1 ampere of current is that amount of current which when flows between two conductors lying parallel to each other, they will exert a force of how much? This is 1, this is 1, this is 1. So we are left with mu naught by 2 pi, right? And the value of mu naught by 2 pi is 2 into 10 to the power minus 7. So the force exerted by 1 on 2 on a unit length, force exerted by 1 on 2 on a unit length will be 2 into 10 to the power minus 7 Newton. When is this much force exerted? When both the conductors carry a current of 1 ampere each. So this is how we define 1 ampere. Hope you would have understood it, and you can also do one exercise on your own, that if the current in the second of the conductor is taken in the reverse direction, then what will be the direction of the force, and now will they attract or repel each other? And this will be an exercise for you. Do it on your own. Thank you.